What is up, everybody? DanDanTheFireman here. Take a seat, grab a donut. Today we have a few things to kind of go over here, so we got to be paying attention. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this situation with a dog. We have the 2-pole run smart rider drill coming up, and then also we're gonna be talking about what's the first thing you should do at a motorcycle crash. Long story, so we got to jump right into this one. So let's take a quick look. Let's get me out of here. So let's start thinking about planning our ride here. So start thinking about that, because that's what we're gonna be talking about. Oh, doggo, don't get hit. Very good, very good. Now accelerate. Get out of there. Look forward. Almost lost traction. We're going the wrong way. Okay, so let's get me back on the board here. All right, so what we have here, remember, we're going to be planning our ride. We need a position for safety, locate hazardous situations, assess relevant threats, navigate active threats. Okay, so the main thing here is that what are we doing for position for safety and locating hazardous situations? That's going to be bouncing around a lot. Once you see something in your view, whether a rear view, 360 situation awareness, mainly what's in front of you, that cone of vision that you have, and the very specific focal vision, you know, let's look at the road right now. Okay, right now, hey, we got a crest of the hill coming up. We're doing pretty good with our spacing here. We're talking on Ricardo Pack Talks. You know, make sure you guys grab one, link in the description for discounts. But we have a little crest of the hill here and there. Okay, not too bad. We can talk about it. The person in front can tell us what's happening since we're in the back. But look at the road surface. Look at the changes. Look at how we don't have a lot of, because when we're talking about position for safety, line of sight, escape routes, space cushions, we don't have a lot of escape routes to the right, to the left. Discoloration, some cracks here, so now we're kind of worried about a little bit of the road surface stuff. Line of sight is okay, you know, it's okay. We're doing pretty good. Space cushions are okay, especially at this speed, but start thinking about that. Oh, here we go. We got discoloration. You notice how there's a change in the color of the road. Well, this part of the road seems pretty stable. We've been riding on this color of the road for a little bit, so hey, we're gonna stick to it. But this right here, I see that little black spot, don't like it. So let's see if we can go back just a little bit here. So when you're coming up to areas like this, search for that uncommon thing in a common situation. Look for the abnormality. If you keep trying to look for the normal stuff, you're just going to see it all over the place, and it's going to just be too much information for your brain. So you already know what normal looks like. Look for the abnormal. So right now, this looks normal. That looks abnormal. So I'm just going to avoid it. And that's what he did. You see how he just did nice little adaptation, nice little kind of a swerve. So he positioned for safety originally, pretty good spot, located a hazardous situation. Hey, pothole. Okay, pothole on a corner, on a vertical corner, crest of the hill. Assessed that it was a relevant threat and navigated it. He navigated it. That was simple. So now we got to reposition, but you know, we're kind of in a good position already. So let's just stay here. Let's keep locating. Okay, that was another pothole right there. Since we are already in a good position, we don't have to do anything. It's not a relevant threat anymore. We're coming up to here. There's a little bit of, you know, change of color, but it's not too bad. It looks like patchwork. You can tell when you're riding. Okay, no real potholes, nothing crazy.
Oh, the dog is out.
Uh-oh, in the road. So we're positioned for safety. We're kind of having a space cushion when it comes to this dog. Pretty good. Now, when we're locating hazardous situations, we're in the middle of a corner. Got to adjust. No cars are coming. Very good. We got a dog in our way. Dogs are very unpredictable. Animals are unpredictable. Little kids are unpredictable. Okay, now it's being aggressive. So we are now swerving. We just recognized, hey, this is a relevant threat. We're going to navigate this active threat. We got to reposition our bodies and move over here into the incoming traffic lane. So yes, we can focus on the dog, but now you're having to focus on the dog, car, dog, car, dog, car. What else is happening? So we're in a pretty bad situation when it comes to risks. Thankfully, nothing's really happening. So right now, anyways, dog almost grabbed that person. Could have happened. Now we're kind of having to deal with, our area is kind of shut off. The first guy got through pretty easy. Second guy almost got bit. Now we're coming up to here. It's like, what do we do? It kind of blocked us off. We can't do much. So we have only this area for that escape path, because now it's our turn to plan our ride a little bit. Okay, we have to do some red stage maneuver. We got to do something. And so he did a pretty good job. We're getting a little too close, so he's squeezing the brakes, progressively braking, almost hit the dog. Dog doesn't want to get his tail ran over. Still barking, kind of being a little dumb dog, but still, dogs are dogs. And his hackles are up and everything. So right here, we have a shot. We can get ourselves out here. Stop looking at the dog. We know that we have an area up here that we can go. Let's go ahead and roll on that throttle and get out of there. It's juking the animal, juking a dog. You want to do that. So stop looking at him. So right here, don't rev bomb. No, don't worry about rev bombing. It's not going to scare the dog. It just came out in the middle of the road to attack 3 giant motorcycles. And we were not prepped and ready. Maybe a little bit too low of a gear. And so we kind of dumped the clutch and it started messing us up. So this is where we have to pay attention to us. What that dog does is what that dog does. Maybe lift your leg up and then go. But you got to get yourself out of there first. Okay, it's like rev bombing a car. So overall did pretty good. Main things here is look for those road surface hazards. Anything that is abnormal that comes out. This looks normal, abnormal. This looks normal, abnormal. This looks normal, a little bit abnormal. We're coming up to here, 35 miles an hour. We're doing pretty good with speed. Everyone's positioned well. We're going through the corner. Hey, that's abnormal. Dog shouldn't be here. We're switching over. We got to reposition. Not a good situation. We got to get ourselves out of here. Now accelerate. Go, 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 go. I kind of screwed it up, but we didn't crash, which is good because they would have been eaten. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go outside. We're going to go do the 2-pole run, and then we're going to come back inside and talk about what's the first thing you should do on a motorcycle crash. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? We're out here in the parking lot. We're going to be doing the 2-pole run. This is going to be 3 left turns. It's not the lefty-loosey. It's a little bit different, more narrow, a little bit faster on some parts. And what we're doing is going around, and I'll show you a demo real quick. We're going to go around these first 2. Okay, so nice and easy head and eye movement. We're going to cut through here, go to the outside, and then go around these 2, and then we're going to exit out. Okay? So once again, that was 3 U-turns. We have that first U-turn, and then we come around. It's a 360. It's 2 U-turns, 2 180s. We're going to go all the way to the outside and do a U-turn and come out. So we're doing a 360 now at this point versus the lefty-loosey, where it's just plain old U-turns. So a 360 and a U-turn out. So let's go ahead and do it just kind of normal, where it's just nice and easy. I'm not going to rush through it. So around these 2 cones, in between these 2 cones, shoot for the outside, a little bit of rear brake. Go around these 2 cones and exit out. But I'm going to go ahead and practice my progressive braking. So around here, head and eye movement. You put your chin on your shoulder. So a little bit of rear brake here, chin on the shoulder. Look at the exit, and I'm going to power through it. So 11.586 is the time I got on that one. Now I'm going to do more of an upright, kind of a sport bike forward control cruiser style. Beginners are taught this in the MSF, so if you're in the MSF or just graduated, this is probably going to feel more familiar. Start here, okay? So more rear brake. So going around this. So I'm going to kind of keep it upright, head, chin to the shoulder, go towards the outside, rear brake, head on the shoulder, a little bit throttle, and I'm going to go power through it. So the main thing here, guys, is that you want to be able to practice those left-handed U-turns, and it's a 360 and then wide. And if you really want to practice your right-hand U-turns and still do the 2-pole run, just flip it. Have some fun doing that.
So what is the first thing you should do at a motorcycle crash? All right. So I just recently went on a rollover crash. I posted on my Instagram story, and yeah, it was pretty gnarly, but it pretty much goes back to, I need to get the sticker. Pretty much goes back to what you should be doing the first thing, and that's to remain calm. So my story involves that. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little story. So remain calm, you need to call 911 or tell someone to call 911. That's the first thing to rescue. Jeez, I can't get the sticker off. That's the first thing when it comes to rescue. And the reason why is because if you're in a panic, you're no real help to anybody. You're not thinking with your prefrontal cortex. You're not thinking with your adult brain. You're thinking with your lizard brain. So here's the story. So I was driving, delivering packages. I was going to the post office. I was driving my van. I have my rescue pack inside my backpack in here. And while I was driving on the interstate, I was pretty close to, here's my rescue pack. I was pretty close to where I was going to be turning off. And all of a sudden off on my right side, I see a vehicle upside down, and I see some cars kind of parked. I see people running back and forth to a car, to that rollover car, but I don't see any police or fire or anybody. So I'm like, okay, so I could either just continue driving because I was going 75, or I can immediately slow down, progressively brake, and get to the side of the road. And I decided to just get to the side of the road. It was pretty simple. The whole thing about being a smart rider is rescue other motorcyclists, but once you understand how to do that, you start to rescue anybody in a medical or trauma situation. So I pulled over, I grabbed my rescue pack out of my bag, and I just started walking. You know, hazard lights, turn off the car, hazard lights, started walking on the shoulder of the road. remaining calm, because the second one, E, is ensure your own safety. And we talk about that inside our booklet. So if you want to grab a booklet, it tells you how to do all that stuff. Kind of gives you a nice little owner's manual for that. So I started walking, and I see people running back and forth, and I finally get close enough to, and we're about like 100 yards away from, I'm about 100 yards away from the actual patient, because you know how to go and park. But I see a lady, I approach another vehicle that was parked. I see a lady, I was like, hey, is there anybody in the vehicle? Do you know if there's anybody in the vehicle? And she's like, yeah. So I was like, okay. Adrenaline went up just a little bit. You know, sometimes people actually self-extricate, and sometimes you see they crash at night and the vehicle's still there and they've already been taken to the hospital like at 2 in the morning. So I was like, okay. So I started to like walk faster, about 4 miles an hour. I love walking. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that. So I was walking, and all of a sudden some teenager started running by and said, we got to break the window. I'm like, oh, okay. So now we're talking about extrication tools and everything. Like, I don't have anything to break it. So I finally get up to the rollover, and there's this man. You know, it seems like a capable man. He's like, I asked, is there anybody in the car? And he's like, yeah, we got to break the window. We got to break the window. Do you have anything to break? I'm like, no, I don't. And I just walk up, and I tell him, hey, did anybody call 911? He's like, I was like, did you call 911? He's like, no. I was like, is anyone over there calling 911? And he said that there's a lady calling 911. I looked real quick, and I see her on the phone. I was like, okay, cool. Because the whole point of that is to start the chain of survival. If I just take care of the patient and nobody shows up to finish the job, she's probably gonna die, you know, whatever it is, if it's that bad. So you wanna call 911, and that's part of remaining calm, because you don't think about that. You think about, I gotta break the window. I gotta, you know, get the person out. And so if you remain calm, tell someone to call 911, or you call 911, take command of that. So they're like, we gotta break the window, we gotta break the window. So I walk up to the car, it's upside down. This is the passenger, no, this is the driver, yeah, the driver's side. Yeah, driver's side. And I just look, and I open the door. The thing is, you have to try before you pry, try before you break, you know, just try opening the door. And if it was locked, I would have tried the other door, because it's a 4-door car. If it was locked, I would try the other door. The patient was conscious. I could have just told her, hey, unlock the door for me so I can get you out. I open it, pulled it out. I hear the guy like, oh, they never tried it. So remaining calm allows you to kind of grab and figure out what you need to do. You know, there's tasks, there's things that, you know, you never walk up to your own car and be like, I got to break the window to get in. And it's like, I'm going to try the door. So think of it that way. I opened the door. She just immediately started trying to get out. She was panicked. I was asking her while she was trying to get out, I was like, hey, do you have any pain? Do you have any back pain? Do you have any neck pain? Scale of 1 to 10. And she just was like, no. And she was trying to get out. Couldn't stop her. I wouldn't have let her do that. The vehicle wasn't on fire. She was safe in there. But if anything, the EMS would have told her to get out anyway. So she gets out. She starts standing up. I tell her to lean against the car. If she feels dizzy, go ahead and take a seat, but keep leaning against the car. I did a quick visual inspection. There was no scratches, lacerations, or anything. I had everything ready. I had a tourniquet. I had 5x9s, 4x4s, roll gauze, all that stuff. And at this point, the stop major bleeds, quickly assess severity, rescue, and everything. Ensure my own safety. I was off to the side, no other vehicles. I was constantly glancing to other vehicles just in case anybody wasn't paying attention and actually ran into us. But we're off to the side, and so I was just talking to her, and it really came down to the severity was not that big, but her adrenaline was pumping, and she was starting to get those tremors because they're starting to go away and starting to shake really hard. Muscle contractions are pretty powerful. The analgesic effect of adrenaline and all those hormones can start going away. So then if you have a broken bone, the tremors can start lacerating the muscle tissue. So what I was trying to do is just kind of talk to her. At that point, that's the thing you can do. Just talking, just smiling, not being a panic. Imagine if I'm panicking, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on with you? She would have panicked too. When it comes to these emergency situations, or when it comes to high emotions, if you can be the strongest person, if you can be the person that allows others to look at you like you're secure, there's security in you, they feel more secure because you're there, that calms everyone down. So everyone else is freaking out, Everyone else is panting hard because they were running back and forth. Somebody got a tire iron to break the window. Everyone was freaking out and nobody was doing anything. They were just freaking out. To the patient, that's scary. So if somebody can take control and do that, and that all starts with remaining calm. Remaining calm. And so I just talked to her. The trooper showed up. I told her what was going to happen. You know, EMS is going to show up on scene. You don't have to go to the hospital if you don't want to, but I highly recommend you let them take your vitals, listen to their recommendations. If they think you need to go to the hospital, I recommend going, but you have the rights to not go. You can refuse transport, because a lot of people don't know that, and I don't want to give her a bill for, she looked fine. So just talking to her, calmed her down, told her the next step so she can plan herself, so she has something to think about in the future versus thinking about the present, because that's kind of scary right now, so she can think of a positive future. And she calmed down. She calmed down. Trooper showed up, told him real quick, hey, one patient. She said nobody else is in the vehicle. This is her. She's sitting right here. I don't recognize anything. I had my trauma kit in my hand, and he just looked at me. He's like, cool, thank you. He's like, anybody see what happened? And then I just I walked off. So long story short, what's the first thing you should do in a motorcycle crash, car crash? Your kid falling down the stairs, jumped off a trampoline, landed on their legs, snapped it. Your child is choking. Remain calm, think of the next step, and do what you need to do. So remain calm for a rescue is to call 911 or tell someone to call 911. Ensure your own safety. Kid fell downstairs, you're pretty safe. Stop major bleeds, there you go. Quickly assess severity. Simple as that. So hopefully you guys like that story.